Directly you can watch your video from your end. Okay. Okay. So yesterday we discussed about what is multiple inheritance, what is multi-level inheritance and single level inheritance. Single inheritance, multi-level, multiple, right? So multiple inheritance is not possible. Multiple inheritance is not possible, right? Why? Why it is not possible? There is a ambiguity. There is a confusion between when you have multiple classes, right? When you have multiple parents, parent 1, parent 2, and this is the child class. If the child class is trying to read the same method, from the parent one also you have the same method name, and child another parent also you have the same method name, then it will get the confusion which method I should call. If I call M1, then this implementation we will get, or P2 methods implementation. So there is a ambiguity or confusion will occur, right? So to avoid those situations, Java or C Sharp, these programming languages, what they did, they avoided this multiple inheritance in case of classes only. In case of classes. So to achieve the multiple inheritance, what they did, they introduced the topic called interfaces. Okay. So let's see what is interface, then why we are not able to achieve a multiple inheritance from class level, but how we are going to get the multiple inheritance from interfaces level. What is the difference? How we can get it? In case of classes, we are saying it doesn't support multiple inheritance because there is a ambiguity. But in case of interfaces, we are saying multiple inheritance is possible. How it is possible? Let's see. Take a new. Right. So this is one interface. And this is another interface. Right. In C sharp, we used to have one indicator. Normal also you can write, but I parent, I P1, every interface, before every interface, just you should have one I, means that just it indicates it is a interface. Okay. So you need to observe clearly. So here in interface, I have M1 method. There is no body. M2 method. There is no body. Here this is another parent. Here also I have M1 method. There is no body. అంతా ఒక చోట ఉండి రికార్డింగ్ చేసుకుంటున్నారు. ఒక్కళ్ళు మాత్రమే రికార్డ్ చేసుకోండి, వన్ ప్లేస్ లో ఉన్నవాడు. M3. Now there is a child class. C, class name C, that is the child class. Okay. I don't have anything here. Okay. So you need to observe this. In case of multiple inheritance, in case of interfaces, we can say multiple inheritance is possible. Why? Here also M1 you have, here also M1 you have. The C is trying to access M1. I said there is no problem. Why? Do you understand? Did you observe anything? Why it is not a problem in case of interfaces? Why it is a problem in case of classes? Hmm? Any observation? ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఇంటర్ఫేస్, వీడి క్లాసు, వీడేం చేస్తాడు? వీళ్ళిద్దరి దగ్గర నుంచి రిలేషన్ ఉంది, M1 ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. M1 ని ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయాలి. హూ హ్యాస్ టు ప్రొవైడ్ ద ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్? చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ M1. సో వాడి ఇష్టం వచ్చిన ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ ఇచ్చాడు. ఇంటర్ఫేస్ అంటే కంపల్సరీగా ఆ పేరెంట్లో ఉన్నదానికి ఇది ఇస్తాడు, హలో, రైట్? నౌ ఐ క్రియేటెడ్ ద ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఫర్ C. C డాట్ M1 అన్న ఏమొచ్చింది?
హలో సార్.
సో ఈస్ దేర్ ఎనీ ambiguity issue?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Why?
Because that method don't have body, sir.
Interfaces doesn't have any body. సో దీన్ని కాల్ చేస్తే ఏంటి? ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి M1 ని ఇన్హెరిట్ చేస్తే ఏంటి? ఈ M1 ని ఇన్హెరిట్ చేస్తే ఏంటి? రైట్? దెర్ ఈస్ నో ప్రాబ్లం. ఓకే, సో దట్స్ వేర్ multiple, in case of interface, that's how we can say, in case of interfaces multiple inheritance is possible. Okay, now we'll see what is interface. Here, what is your understanding interface? In the sense, what do you have in interfaces? Completely unimplemented methods. Interface in the sense, completely unimplemented method,
Implementation method.
right? Class in the sense,
Implementation method.
completely implementations. Class లో ఏముంటాయి?
Implementation method.
ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్స్ ఉంటాయి.
Okay.
ఇంటర్ఫేస్ లో
Unimplementation method.
కంప్లీట్లీ అన్ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ మెథడ్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఓకే, అది. సో ఇప్పుడు విల్ సి హౌ టు క్రియేట్ వన్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్. IATM. Okay, see here. IATM, right? I said IATM, automatically it is created as an interface. Okay, so in this interface, for example, if you are able to discuss about, if you observe some real-time entities outside ATM centers, right? What are the functions you can observe? Public void withdraw.
ATM withdraw, sir. Money withdraw, balance inquiry, pin change, check inquiry, mini statement, and cardless option.
Withdraw, pin change,
Mini statement.
Balance inquiry.
right? ఈ మూడు ఫంక్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. Now I am trying to build one ATM center. IATM is one common interface. Okay, so it is going to be implemented by all the ATM banks, all bank ATM centers, right? For example, I am trying to create one ATM center, Axis Bank ATM center class. I have two ATMs. Right? What is that? ICICI ATM and where is the Axis ATM? This is Axis Bank ATM, right? Two ATMs are there. So all ATM centers will have common standards, right? Everywhere, if you visit, if you go to ICICI, there are same functionalities would be there in the ATM center, right? Do you have any other names? Did you observe other than withdrawal or pin change? Any other names you observed for pin
No, sir.
change something
No, sir.
in ICICI Bank? Did you observe any other name for pin change?
No, sir.
In Axis Bank, do you have any other implementation? Any other names?
No, sir.
No, right? See, the same way. That's where something is common. Those common things I should keep in interfaces. Okay. So now this guy also trying to implement ATM point. So whenever I said is here, it will ask you, boss, you have some unimplemented methods here. See, you can read here. Initially, when he said it will, when you are trying to inherit interface, then you will get one error, right? So implement all members explicitly or implement the interface. So it is clearly saying you have to provide the implementation for each and everything. Okay, you should not miss anything. For example, in IATM, I have three functions: withdraw, pin change, and mini statement. Who is going to implement this interface? That must provide all implementations. ఆ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ లో ఏదైతే ఉందో for all of them I have to provide the implementation. Okay, otherwise the project won't compile. Okay, it will throw exceptions. Okay, so that is the contract. Interface is nothing but a contract between your class and interface. What is the contract? Whatever the methods you declared in interface, you have to provide the implementations for all of the methods. For example, let's see, I didn't provide the implementation for one of the method. Is it accepting?
No, sir.
Is it okay? If I didn't provided, I provided the for two methods I provided, but one method I didn't provided the implementation. Is it okay?
No, sir.
No. It must be, you must be complete. Right? So like that, you need to provide the implementations perfectly. Now you can write. Right? దీంట్లో పారామీటర్ తీసుకునేది లేదు. Okay. I implemented both interfaces. Interface అంటే ఏంటి? First of all, what is your understanding about the interfaces? Interface will have only unimplemented methods. Interfaces will have only unimplemented methods, right? What will have? All unimplemented methods. And what is the access modifier? Public access modifier. Only public access modifier. Okay. All unimplemented methods and public access modifier. Whereas class will have all kind of access modifiers. See, for example, I will make it is a private. Right? I will make it is a అక్కడ పబ్లిక్ ఉంది, నువ్వు ఇక్కడ ఇది చేసావు అంటాను. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ పబ్లిక్. ఇక్కడ చూడు, ఇక్కడ పబ్లిక్ ఉంది. నేను ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ప్రైవేట్ చేశా. సో ఇది అక్కడ పబ్లిక్ ఉంది, దాన్ని అక్కడ పబ్లికే ఉంచాలి. ఓకే. సో బట్ క్లాసెస్లో ఏంటి, ఇంకొక సపరేట్ ఫంక్షన్ రాశాను ఈ క్లాస్లో. ప్రైవేట్ which is not part of interface. Okay. Print bank details. The bank name is bank. Interpolation. Right. So చూడండి, I can have all public access modifiers and private access modifiers as well. Okay. So interfaces, when you are going to interface, when you are going to use the interfaces, so interfaces in the sense, it is a completely unimplemented methods. Whereas class is completely implemented method. Who will provide the implementations for interface? Class. Class will provide the implementations. So what is the contract between class and interface? A contract between class and interface is the class must provide the implementations for all abstractions. A class must provide the implementation for all abstraction. Abstraction ante unimplemented method. Right? So that's how I provided. Now let's see, we will test this one. Where is our test class? That I am going to write the test class public void test interfaces now test interfaces. Very good. Yep, it's a test method. Right. Now, what is the interface name? We have IATM. Okay. ATM. This ATM is going to be ICICI ATM. New of. Can we create the object for interfaces?
No,
Can
sir.
we create the object for interface?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
We should create the object for
Class.
class name. So which is our bank? Which bank you want to
ICICI.
use? ICICI Bank. Right. So ICICI ATM dot What is the function? You want to change the PIN? Okay. Bank name is equals to you are providing ICICI, right? And ICICI ATM dot withdraw. ఏ బ్యాంక్ నుంచి విత్డ్రా చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నారు? ఐసిఐసిఐ. యాక్సెస్. నువ్వు ఆబ్జెక్ట్ దేనికి క్రియేట్ చేసావు? ఆ బ్యాంక్ నుంచి విత్డ్రా చేసుకో. నౌ యు ఆర్ టాకింగ్ టు ఐసిఐసిఐ బ్యాంక్. ఓకే. మినీ స్టేట్మెంట్. చూడండి. So let's see, can I able to execute or not? ఏది మన టెస్ట్? టెస్ట్ ఇంటర్ఫేసెస్. సో ఐసిఐసిఐ పిన్ చేంజ్ స్టేట్మెంట్, మినీ స్టేట్మెంట్. లోపల నేను ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ మార్చాను. ఓకే, కాపీ పేస్ట్ ఎక్కడో తేడా పడేది. గాట్ ఇట్? చూడండి ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తుంది? ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్కి వెళ్తుందా? లోపల కోడ్ చూడగలుగుతున్నారా మీరు ఇప్పుడు? వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఇంటర్నల్ డీటెయిల్స్? You are unable to see the internal details, right? This is the client. This client knows, okay, I have this pin change, I have withdraw function, I have mini statement. Is this example for abstraction or not?
Yes, sir.
Right? This is called abstraction also. We can implement the abstraction through interfaces. That is one of the statements. Right? So, వెళ్దామంటే డీటెయిల్స్ మీకు ఏం కనిపించవు. గో టు ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ అండి. ఇది ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తుంది? ఇక్కడ వచ్చింది. ఓకే, దీస్ ఆర్ ద ఫంక్షన్స్ ఆర్ దేర్ విత్ ఐసిఐసిఐ బ్యాంక్. ఓకే, నౌ let's test with Axis Bank. ఇక్కడ ఐసిఐసి ఇట్లా కాకుండా ఏటీఎం అని పెట్టుకుని కామన్ నేమ్. జస్ట్ ఐ చేంజ్డ్ నేమ్, పారామీటర్స్ చేంజ్ చేశాను. రైట్? ఇప్పుడు సేమ్ ఐ డింట్ చేంజ్డ్ ఎనీ కోడ్ హియర్. ఓకే, నేను ఆ క్లాస్ ఫైల్స్ని టచ్ చేశాను మళ్ళా. రైట్? ఇప్పుడు నాకు యాక్సిస్ బ్యాంక్ రిలేటెడ్ ఫంక్షన్స్ రన్ అవుతుంది. చూడండి, యాక్సెస్ పిన్ వచ్చింది, ఐసిఐసిఐ పిన్ వచ్చింది, మినీ స్టేట్మెంట్ వచ్చింది యాక్సిస్ బ్యాంక్ నుంచి. రైట్? సో ఈసారి నేనేం చేస్తాను, జస్ట్ ఐఎమ్ చేంజింగ్. నౌ ఐ వాంట్ మూవ్ టు ఐసిఐసిఐ బ్యాంక్. ఐ డింట్ చేంజ్ ఎనీథింగ్ అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ క్లాస్ నేమ్. ఓకే, పారామీటర్స్ చేంజ్ చేసుకుంటా ఎందుకంటే నాకు తెలియదు కాబట్టి. నేను ఆ ఫంక్షన్ ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ కానీ ఎక్కడైనా చేంజ్ చేశానా? ఐ డింట్ చేంజ్ ఎనీవే, ఓన్లీ జస్ట్ ఇది ఒక్కటే అబ్జర్వ్ చేసి చేంజ్ చేశాను. రైట్? నౌ ఐఎమ్ కాలింగ్. ఐసిఐసిఐ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ వచ్చేసింది. సో ఇది మెయిన్ అడ్వాంటేజ్. యూ కెన్ స్విచ్ ఈజీలీ బిట్వీన్ one class to another class without changing these any other levels of code. ఈ పార్ట్ మీరు టచ్ చేయకుండా యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ చేంజ్ అనమాట. సో ఇది వన్ ఆఫ్ ద మెయిన్ అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఇన్ ఇంటర్ఫేసెస్. యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ స్విచ్ between one class to another class, right? That is one of the major advantage. So now coming to interfaces. Malla ఒకసారి recap. What is interface? What is interface? Interface is completely unimplemented methods. And what access modifier you will have in interface? Public access modifier.
Public access modifier.
Did you observe any constructor in interface? Right? You don't have any constructors in interfaces. Right? We don't have any constructor in the interface. Just try public IATM. No, right? We should not have the constructor, right? Okay. And can I have any other access modifiers? Private. See here, it is throwing exception. That means by default it is public. You should have only, this is three differences, right? One, first thing, interface will have all unimplemented methods, access modifier public, and it doesn't have any constructor. Okay, interfaces when we are going to use, if you want to implement some certain common standards across multiple common functionalities across multiple classes, ఒక 4 or 5 classes లో కానీ 2 classes లో కానీ ఎక్కడైనా సరే సేమ్ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ గురించి మాట్లాడుతుంటే మీరు ఏం చేయాలి? ఎట్ ద టైమ్ you should create those common functionalities, you should move to the common function names, you should move to one interface, right? ఎందుకు మూవ్ చేయాలి? అట్లా మూవ్ చేస్తే యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ స్విచ్ ఆ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ నుంచి ఆ క్లాస్కి ఈ క్లాస్కి ఈజీగా స్విచ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, ఆ క్యాపబిలిటీ వచ్చింది. సో మెయిన్లీ ఎప్పుడైనా సరే రెండు కానీ 2 or multiple classes, if you have same common functionality, then first what you need to think about the interface. All those common function names move to interface and then provide the implementations. Okay, that is the main advantages of interfaces. When you are doing that one, right, you can easily switch between one class to another class without changing the client code. Client side, there is no need to change anything. The same function, because everyone will have the same function, right? Axis Bank will have the ATM. Axis Bank will have the same ATM functions. ICICI Bank also have the same ATM function, same functions, right? So in such cases, there is no need to change the client code, right? This is a client code. So I have the ATM. Common function is by ATM. That I have the same pin change, withdraw, mini statements. So that is one of the main advantage over interfaces. And another point, to achieve multiple inheritance, we will use interfaces. మల్టిపుల్ ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ అంటే ఏంటి? ఇంకోటి, ఇప్పుడు నా దగ్గర ఏటీఎం సెంటర్ ఓన్లీ కొన్ని ఏటీఎం సెంటర్స్ మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే ఓన్లీ ఫ్యూ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ ఉంటుంది. ఇంకో ఏటీఎం సెంటర్లో ఇంకొక ఫ్యూ అదర్ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ ఉంటాయి. అంటే ఏంటి? విత్డ్రాల్కి ఒక ఏటీఎం సెంటర్ ఉండిద్ది, డిపాజిట్కి ఇంకో ఏటీఎం సెంటర్ ఉండిద్ది. అవునా కదా? రైట్? సో మీరు ఐసిఐసిఐ బ్యాంక్కి వెళ్తే మీ దగ్గర 2 ఏటీఎం సెంటర్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఒకటి విత్డ్రాల్ ఏటీఎం, రెండోది డిపాజిట్ ఏటీఎం. 2 సపరేట్గా ఉంటాయి. సో కానీ నాకు 2 పనులు కావాలి కదా. నౌ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఐ డిపాజిట్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ ఒకటి, ఐ డిపాజిట్ ఏటీఎం పెడుతున్నాను. ఓకే, సో దీంట్లో డిపాజిట్ మిషన్, డిపాజిట్ ఫంక్షన్. Okay. So, ఇప్పుడు how we can say multiple inheritance? ICICI ATM కి వెళ్దాం. Now, ICICI ATM people, they decided, okay, now we need to give the users an additional functionality. That is deposit also. User can deposit. So, what he did? So, he trying to implement iDeposit also. Right? ఎక్కడ టెస్ట్ క్లాస్ ఎవడు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయాలి దీన్ని? ఐసిఐసిఐ ఏటీఎం వాడు. సో వాట్ he can deposit like this. Now this ICICI bank, he'll have these three functions and this function as well. But can I say Axis Bank ATM as well? చేయొచ్చా యాక్సిస్ బ్యాంక్ ఏటీఎం?
నో సార్,
ఎందుకు?
No, sir.
అక్కడ అన్ఇంప్లిమెంటెడ్ ఉంది. ఇది డిపాజిట్ అనే ఫంక్షన్ అక్కడ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయలేదు కదా
ఎవడు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయలేదు?
యాక్సిస్ బ్యాంక్ లో.
అందువలన సో బాస్ నాకు వీడికి యాక్సిస్ బ్యాంక్ వాడికి ఏం తెలుసు? ఏటీఎం తెలుసు, డిపాజిట్ ఏటీఎం గురించి తెలియదు. సో he will say I don't know that one. You are talking about deposit function. I am talking about iDeposit ATM. దాంట్లో డిపాజిట్ ఫంక్షన్ ఉంది. That was not with me. Right? Cannot implicitly convert a type Axis ATM to deposit ATM. అంటే మెయిన్ అక్కడ వీడు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయలేదు కాబట్టి. దీన్ని ఎవడు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేశాడు? ఓన్లీ ఐసిఐసిఐ. ఓకే. మల్టిపుల్ ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ ఎట్లా ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ ఇది చూడండి. కామా ఎన్ని ఇంటర్ఫేస్లు అయితే అన్ని ఇంటర్ఫేస్లు. నిన్న చూసాం, నిన్న కామా సపరేటెడ్తో మల్టిపుల్ ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ పాసిబుల్ కాలా ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ క్లాసెస్ కదా, క్లియర్గా ఎర్రర్ త్రో చేసింది. ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ క్లాసెస్ మల్టిపుల్ ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ ఈజ్ నాట్ పాసిబుల్. ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ ఇంటర్ఫేసెస్ మల్టిపుల్ ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ ఈజ్ పాసిబుల్. వాట్ ఈజ్ అబ్స్ట్రాక్షన్? చూడండి, he is the end user. Now you visited to ICICI ATM center. In ATM center, what are the functionalities are there? You know that, right? Like this. He is the client. He is the client. This test is one client, right? Here he knows in ATM center, what are the functionalities I have? I know. In iATM, what are the functionalities I have? I know. What are the functionalities I have? Mini statement I have. Pin change I have. Withdraw is there. Right? Nothing more than that. So I know what are the functionalities, but do I know what are the internal details of the functions?
No.
No,
No, sir.
that is called hiding. Hiding the internal details from outside the world. Hiding the, it is not security. Security ki దీనికి thin layer ఉంది. Hiding. Security అంటే అసలు వాడి దగ్గర ఏముందో కూడా తెలియదు. For example, I have ICICI ATM, not ICICI, Axis ATM. Where is Axis? Print bank. Right? In Axis ATM, I have print bank private function. Right? For example, I made it access bank ATM. Outside world, what are the functions here? Mini, change, withdraw, and this one. Are you seeing private bank? What is that? What is the function name? What function I name? I have. చూడండి సెక్యూరిటీ
ప్రింట్ బ్యాంక్
హైడింగ్ కి డీటెయిల్ డిఫరెన్స్ ప్రింట్ బ్యాంక్ యాక్సెస్ ఏదమ్మా యాక్సెస్ వేర్ ఇస్ యాక్సెస్ ప్రింట్ బ్యాంక్ ఈస్ ద ఫంక్షన్ ఓకే దట్ ఫంక్షన్ దిస్ యూనిట్ టెస్ట్ ఈస్ అనదర్ క్లాస్ ఈజ్ హీ ఏబుల్ టు సీ దట్ ప్రింట్ బ్యాంక్ ఫంక్షన్ ఈజ్ హీ ఏబుల్ టు సీ
నో సార్
no right that means security means others he doesn't know whether that function is there what functions he has but whereas hiding and he knows what are the functions he has but he doesn't know what is how the implementation how what code they have written asalu etla teesకొస్తున్నాడు details all those details hiding you got it right hide key providing security ki difference in case of hide you know what are the functions names are there abstraction but you don't know what are the implementation details how the function is implemented why who are you worrying about those as an end user since you are a developer might be you have some ambiguity right not some interest to know why how they are implemented how it is but as an end user they are not worrying about that but only what they're worrying okay I have this function this as per the function I should get exact details or not correct details or wrong details inte but you are not worrying about internal details that is called hiding how we can achieve through abstraction how you can achieve through interfaces or abstract class so that is called hiding right providing security in the sense it completely the details you have some private function others doesn't know what functions you have if you make a private that is called security there is a thin layer between security and hiding right if you make whatever the data you want to expose you just expose that you are not exposing any other details. How? By making private member. When you are making private, that is not going to be known by anyone outside of the class. What is abstraction? End users, they know what are the functions they have, but they are not worrying about the internal details. Best example enti ATM center lo pin change undi. I have a pin change function. I know that this function is there. But I am not worrying about the pin change ATM lo leda compulsory ga undidiga undi kada ఎందుకంటే యాక్సెస్ ATM సమ్ నేమ్ పంపించాలి పారామీటర్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది రైట్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ వరింగ్ అబౌట్ ఇంటర్నల్ డీటెయిల్స్ మినీ స్టేట్మెంట్ రైట్ దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ hiding the details. So manamu ippudu all topics we discussed in OOPS concept. Right? One is, what are the 4 pillars of OOPS?
Inheritance,
abstractions,
polymorphism, abstraction.
Did we discuss about inheritance? Inheritance is nothing but inheriting the parent members into child class. Single statement. Okay. Then next, encapsulation. Encapsulation ante enti? Encapsulation is nothing but encapsulating some data members into one particular class as a single unit. Right? And encapsulation mainly talks about the security.
Yes, sir.
Security in the sense when you are making some members as a private, those details cannot be known by anyone outside of the class, doesn't know those details, private members. That's how we are providing the security to a class. So every class is example for encapsulation. Encapsule in the sense we are capsulating one particular data and the data members into one particular class as a single unit, that is encapsulation. It mainly talks about the security, right? Whereas abstraction, what is abstraction? Abstraction in the sense hiding the internal details. Hiding the internal details. You are exposing what are the functions you have, but you don't know what are the internal details. The client doesn't know the internal details, how the implementation, all those things. They are not worrying about that. But they should worry about what are the functions I should have. That is called abstraction. Abstraction talks about hiding the details. Then what is the next thing? Polymorphism. Poly in the sense many, morphism in the sense forms. An entity would be available in many forms. Right? Means there are two types of polymorphism. One is method overload and another is method override. So method overload comes under static polymorphism. Method override comes under what polymorphism? Dynamic polymorphism. So method overload, what is the meaning of method overload? In a single class, you can observe same method name repeated multiple times, but there is a difference in parameters. You can observe same method name multiple times repeated, but there is a difference in parameter. That is called method overload. What is method override?
Both
What is the
are
meaning of
same.
method override? Method override in the sense, in a class,
Parameters and methods are same.
uh,
Parameters and methods names are same. Method override.
method override in the sense, method name same, parameters also same.
Also same.
But this would be available only in case of two classes. Right? You have a parent class, there is one
Same.
function with some parameters. The same thing would be repeated in the child class as
Child
well.
class
That
as
is called method override. Here, method name same, parameters also same. Okay. So these are the OOPS principle. Very, very important. What are the OOPS principles? 4. Can you explain me? This is the explanation. Okay, tomorrow we'll complete all C#. Okay. If any pending things are there, or abstract class pending, so that I will discuss about abstract class. Okay, we completed everything maximum. Okay, we discussed about extension methods, polymorphism, OOPS concepts, right? Maximum we covered. One thing we need to cover, link queries. Okay, that is not mandatory now. Down the line, whenever we have the time, we'll learn.